You have highly technical, local GPS data that you need help working with. What do? You hire a VA. Good evening, Colten.
Yeah,
I know
evening.
you work for Land Solutions, Inc.
Correct.
And this is a whole new area for me. I'm interested to find out about this company. You guys specialize in wetland delineation and permitting. And I
Yep.
know you're working with Marion, an offshore virtual assistant from ZL Workforce. And she does geographic information system mapping as well as other things, I believe. Could you start us off with a little bit about the company and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Land Solutions was founded by Cindy, the owner, and my boss about 5 years ago now. I started working for her a little over a year ago, moved up here from West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful place. I went to WVU and got my bachelor's in wildlife and fisheries management, and then just randomly found an ad on Indeed and came all the way up here about 3.5 hours for an in-person interview, and we went from there.
That's commitment. You found what you wanted, though,
Yeah.
I guess, right?
Yeah, it moved very quickly. So Land Solutions is an environmental and ecological consulting firm. We specialize in environmental delineations such as wetland delineation, streams, ditches, ponds, erosional features that you may have on your properties. So say you're interested in purchasing a property, or it's just part of your due diligence before you purchase, and you think there's a possibility of a wetland or stream or some kind of aquatic feature being on the site. Instead of developing, buying the property and then going to the city and finding out that you need a delineation about 2 weeks before you close on the property, that's cutting the time frame pretty close there. So you can call us. We'll come out, see if you have any wetlands out there, streams, see if they are jurisdictional or not through the Army Corps of Engineers or the Ohio EPA. And then we can help out with permitting processes as well. I've done permitting from everything from ball fields, like recreational ball fields, to single family homes, to proposed industrial parks.
Oh, wow, everything. All right.
Yeah.
I had some fun looking at your website. There was a little humor there. Apparently, you can get arrested for messing up with this.
It has happened. Yeah, they try to stay away from the criminal aspect of it and just focus on fines.
Yeah,
but
okay.
yeah, it is possible.
Serious business.
Yes.
So you talked about wetland delineation a bit. So you're basically marking where the wetlands are. Why did you guys decide you needed a virtual assistant, though?
It was mainly because when we started the company, there was another employee, and they had since moved to an engineering firm and just had to cut back on their hours a little bit, but the pay rate was still pretty high. And it was just like the schedule was conflicting because they were focused on the company that they're at and not really on our work.
Okay.
And Cindy brought it up, and I will be honest, I was a little hesitant at first because I wasn't quite sure how it would work out. But as we talked this out and started to go through the processes and how it's going to work, and then we got to speak with Marianne before we hired her, and she's really just done a great job. She's learned super fast, and I really haven't had any issues at all.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Before working with Marion, I know you said that you guys just didn't have enough time for the other person who was working for you.
Correct.
What part of the mapping, or I guess the AutoCAD process, was taking the most time for your team?
I would say preliminary site planning. As we were preparing to go out to perform a delineation, we have to get some shapefiles off the County GIS website to see exactly where the project area starts and ends. And then we have an Archer 4 GPS unit that we take out into the field. So we have to go on the county auditor website, get the shapefiles, transport those onto the unit, and then also look at background resources such as NWI mapping, which are previous wetlands that are known to be there, stream stats, county soil surveys, and just a lot of background info that took, probably up to 2.5 hours to do. And usually it was the day before or the morning of going out into the field. Just that's how our schedule is working. And Marianne she'll go in and do all that for us. usually 2-3 days before, so we know exactly what we're looking for before we even go out to the property.
What is a shapefile for us not in the know?
Okay, yeah. So it's just okay. It's a conglomerate of files that you use to see boundaries, line features such as where exactly a wetland or a stream is on a property, and you can convert that to coordinate system.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's almost like on Google Maps. You can type in coordinates or Shell or BP or wherever you're going for the gas. You click on it, and GPS will take you straight there.
So now you know where to go
like
when
that.
you get to the site.
Yes.
Okay, it's coming together for me.
Yes. Yeah. Google Earth is just a bunch of shape files.
Awesome. That's what I was looking for.
Yep.
Was there a specific moment when you realized Marion could be trusted with this highly technical, detailed projects, or?
I wouldn't say there was a specific moment that I can recall, but when I gave her some practice or example projects to do her second week there, and she really excelled at doing those. She only had a few questions that were really based off, just very generic questions, and I was able to answer them easily. And yeah, she just kind of rolled right through it. A day or two later, had the practice examples back, and it looked like she'd been doing it for years.
Okay, so it is interesting. You're working on geography here,
Yeah,
and you have a virtual assistant offshore. How do you I guess how does that work? I guess.
yeah. So one thing that I was worried about was whether or not she would have to use a VPN.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, and she ended up not having to do that, so that was good. I was worried maybe our county auditor websites or some of the Army Corps' websites would not allow her to access it because it would, see her IP address in a different country.
Okay.
But yeah, it hasn't been an issue. I gave her a whole list of probably 40, 50 hyperlinks that she could go to for all the different county GIS information, soil surveys, Army Corps databases and everything. And yeah, I just said, familiarize yourself with it over the next couple of days, and we'll go from there.
Oh, that's awesome. All right,
Yeah.
cool. And so how has Marion helped you move faster on the reports? I know you said you're waiting, sometimes it's right before, the day before.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's working different hours, right, than you guys are?
Yes. Yeah. I believe she is 13 hours ahead.
Okay.
So, and it's been really nice on times that I'm a little bit behind on the schedule. So I can put something in what's called a task list that I have for her.
Okay.
It's just an online Excel worksheet. So we both have access to it. We're the only people who have access to it. I go in and I put what the purpose of what she's doing is, exactly what she needs to do, and kind of like a due date. It's not really a fast, hard set deadline, but just generally, we'd like this done by this date. And I can put that in at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. And by the time I come in at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, it's done and I'm ready to go.
Oh, that's crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty cool. So some people hear about virtual assistants and they think just of administrative work. Whereas here, this is very specific technical information that Marion's working with.
Yeah.
So how is this different than what people normally think of virtual assistants?
I would say that first of all, Marianne specifically has learned very quickly exactly what we're doing. She's willing to expand her responsibilities. We have her even starting to work on some permitting figures and sheets that we're doing, which is it just brings in a lot of what's called AutoCAD work. So it brings in its shape files almost on steroids. It's just huge file loads. And the client will give those to us that will have their site plans in it. And then we overlay that on the shape files that we have from our delineation.
Okay.
So yeah, even more technical than what we're talking about her day-to-day basis. And I asked her if she wanted to do that. And she said, yeah, she'd love to learn how to do that.
That's awesome. So she didn't have background in this to begin with, and she kind of just came.
She had a little bit of an engineering background, if I recall. Yeah.
Okay. But not specifically for this.
Yeah, not specifically for this. Yeah. And just, it really allows me to delegate some tasks to her and to complete a lot of tasks that I have to do way more efficiently, because then I'm not having to worry about doing the preparation and the mapping and all that and all this and that. And I can focus on the permitting and client coordination, among other things.
So we kind of got into the fact that you learned pretty quickly. So can we talk about the onboarding process for Marion and how that went then?
Yeah, absolutely. Before she started, I spent probably 2 days on and off creating an SOP, standard operating procedure, specifically for a map tech. Okay. And we ran it through, me and Cindy ran it through together. I gave it to her and just to see if somebody who didn't have a large background in mapping could perform the tasks or at least understand where we're coming from. And we made some few minor tweaks to it. And then when she started, I gave her the SOP along with all the links, and I said, just let her go, let her loose, and see what she can do right off the bat to see what kind of skill level we're at the moment, and then we can see where we need to go going forward. And like I said, she did a very good job starting out. Only had a few questions, which were about, she didn't really know the counties or cities or anything over here. Obviously, you can't expect her to. I don't even know them yet, and I've been here a year. So yeah, and we tweaked the SOP a little bit too while she was working on it. Some things weren't making sense, so I went back in and just little tweaks here and there. And I'd say that's one of the most important things for really hiring anybody, but especially a virtual assistant, no matter what they're doing. Create an SOP, I would say that probably takes days, if not a week, off of trainings.
Yep, I've trained people in person, and it's gone terribly, and so I can imagine it's even harder training a virtual assistant.
Yes. Yep.
And I was training them in non-technical stuff, so I'm very glad that worked out well for you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we hit the ground running.
Cool. So have you seen an improvement in the turnaround time on projects then? I'm guessing things are could you quantify it almost? Like how much quicker are things gone?
Yeah. So we typically tell our clients it takes approximately 2 weeks from the completion of the field data collection to getting a full report back. So I have to write a report on our findings, and that includes everything from background resources to site description to results and discussion, what we found in the field. And I can't complete a lot of that until we have mapping done. So I'm kind of at a stalemate until mapping gets done. So I'd say we went from about 11 to 14 days turnaround, workdays turnaround time to probably I've had them as quickly as 5 days.
Oh, that's a big improvement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did not expect that much of a difference.
Yeah. 5 to, I'd say, the longest one we've had since she's come on. And that's not due to her fault at all. It's just some client relation issues we had. But I'd say the longest one we had would be 12 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
If another firm was looking to hire, someone who's doing GIS, CAD, or other technical documentation, what should their first 30 days look like for figuring this out? I'm assuming you talked about the standard operating procedure, getting that done.
Yes. Yeah, I would say standard operating procedure, absolutely. Specific trainings that they may need. Some companies have technical or safety trainings that you would have to go through. So I'm not quite sure, because they're not on site, if they would have to go through the same safety trainings or not, but you may have to do that. Job specific resources that they will need. And obviously you have to take into account that they're not here. So if they need specific websites or passwords or something along those lines, you may have to set up a separate library for them to use for passwords if you want them to only have access to certain things within the company. Because naturally, you don't want somebody just starting out like an intern, even you wouldn't have them to have access to every password in the whole company.
I mean, that's the same for anyone in person as well.
Yes,
you wouldn't just give them hey, carte blanche, go ahead and look at everything.
Here's everything.
I guess that gets into the thoughts of anxiety about safety for the company and the data. I'm assuming that's how you manage that sort of thing, and it's worked out well, right?
Yeah, it's worked out great. I'd say also give them some practice. If you're doing something that like we are, give them some practice problems to solve or practice mapping to do, and see the base skill level, where are they at, and that way what they need help with or questions that they may have before they even ask them. Okay,
so final questions. We're running out of time here. How do you see remote work supporting environmental work in the future in consulting?
Okay, good question. I think that virtual assistants will definitely get more popular in the years to come. And I think companies will be able to definitely to expedite their projects and probably save money as well, as opposed to having a full-time employee that you may put on salary, but you may not need somebody for 40 hours a week. And that was our main constraint was we really don't have quite enough projects or things to do for a map tech 40 hours a week. So then you'd be paying them, hours that they're not working.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's been great talking to you.
Yeah, it's been
about
great
this.
talking to you. Nice to meet you.
Yep.